Welcome to Lens. Today we're exploring a question that haunts so many people silently. Why does life, or as Carl Jung might say, the deeper layers of our psyche, sometimes bring someone into our world who touches us in a way no one else has, yet we cannot be with them? It feels unfair, confusing, almost cosmic. But what if this experience carries a psychological meaning beyond just the pain of missing out? What if there's a reason rooted in how our minds and emotions work? Let's go deeper together. Sometimes in life, we meet someone and feel an instant sense of connection. It might happen in the most unexpected place. A conversation at work, a brief encounter while traveling, or a random introduction through a friend. Something about this person feels different. They awaken emotions in you didn't even realize were there. Maybe it's a deep admiration, maybe attraction, or a feeling like they see you in a way others don't. And then comes the catch. Circumstances, timing, commitments, or life situations make it impossible for you to be together in the way your heart wants. This experience can stay with you for years. Even if you move on, a part of you still remembers. You may ask yourself late at night, why did I meet them at all if I couldn't have them? Why send me someone like this only to take them away? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, wouldn't call this a coincidence. He believed that our encounters often reflect something happening inside us psychologically. He introduced ideas like the collective unconscious and archetypes, the universal patterns in human experience. For Jung, meeting someone you can't be with can be like holding up a mirror to your inner world. That person may carry qualities, emotions, or longings that exist within you, even if you haven't fully recognized them. To understand this better, let's talk about projection, one of Jung's key ideas. Projection happens when you unconsciously put your own feelings, traits, or desires onto someone else. Imagine you have a deep need for understanding and kindness, but you haven't experienced much of it in your life. Then you meet someone who shows you warmth and empathy. Suddenly they feel extraordinary. In reality, they're reflecting back to you what you've been longing for, not creating it from nothing. Here's a real-life example. A woman named Aisha meets someone during a work trip. He listens deeply, remembers small details, speaks with honesty. Aisha feels seen in a way she hasn't felt in years. But he lives in another country. Both have commitments at home. The relationship can't move forward. She feels heartbroken, even though nothing fully started. Over time, Aisha realizes what drew her so strongly wasn't just him as a person, but how he mirrored the emotional connection she craved in her life. He became a symbol of something missing within her relationships, and perhaps within herself. This is why Jung often suggested that the people we're drawn to, especially in powerful or painful ways, reveal parts of our own psyche. The encounter forces us to notice feelings we usually ignore. It brings to light needs or dreams buried under routines, responsibilities, or fear. The person you can't be with often represents a part of yourself waiting for attention. But why can't we just be with them and resolve it all? Because psychologically, the point isn't always about the relationship itself. It's about the inner work the encounter triggers. If you immediately fulfilled the fantasy, you might miss the deeper message. Painful longing keeps your attention alive long enough to learn something about yourself. Another concept here is Jung's idea of individuation, the process of becoming whole. Life keeps pushing us to integrate neglected parts of ourselves. Emotions we avoid, talents we deny, dreams we silence. Encounters with unavailable people often stir those very parts awake. It's as if life says, look here, there's something in you that needs to grow. Consider another example. A man named Imran feels stuck in a rigid career path, living by everyone else's expectations. Then he meets someone free-spirited, creative, full of life. He falls for her energy, but she's already in a committed relationship. He can't be with her, yet he can't forget her either. Eventually he realizes what fascinated him wasn't just her, but the freedom she embodied, a freedom missing in his own life. The pain pushed him to finally explore his creative side, something he had buried for years. This shows why Jung would never see such meetings as accidents. He introduced the term synchronicity for meaningful coincidences. Events that feel charged with significance, even if they don't follow simple cause and effect logic. Meeting someone you can't be with can feel like that. Painfully meaningful, as if life itself is speaking through it. The tragedy many people fall into is mistaking the symbol for the solution. They believe being with this person would fix everything, but often the real task is internal, asking what this encounter awakens in you, what life direction it hints at, what self-discovery it demands. Sometimes, after this inner work, people do cross paths again under different circumstances. Other times they never do, and yet the growth remains. The person you couldn't have becomes like a guide who appeared just long enough to point you inward, then left you to continue the journey yourself. Grief is part of this process. Jung never dismissed human pain. It's okay to feel the loss, the longing, even the unfairness. Those emotions mean the experience touched something real in you. But over time, as you reflect, you begin to see the strange gift within it. Many people, looking back years later, realize they became different because of that one encounter. Maybe they pursued a dream, ended an unhealthy pattern, or developed emotional depth they didn't have before. The relationship never happened, but its impact shaped who they became. So when life sends someone you can't be with, you can ask not only why them, but also why now? What is this moment showing me about myself? What door inside me just opened? That shift in perspective turns heartbreak into a teacher, longing into self-discovery. As we close, remember this: not every person who enters your life is meant to stay. Some come as mirrors, some as messengers. They awaken parts of you you might have ignored, and though you may not hold their hand in the future, you carry forward the self-knowledge they left behind. Carl Jung would say this is how life, or the unconscious, pushes you toward wholeness. So perhaps the real question isn't why you met someone you couldn't be with, but how you will grow because you did.